dropping F-bombs over here. I'm gonna start dropping F-bombs. Listen to this. Fart you, fart here.
That's not how F-bombs are dropped, you idiot.
Oh, come on, Shake.
Oh, the fart it is, farter. Fart all y'all. Y'all go fart yourself.
Unit 211, 1030, 57.
What is wrong with me today? Who is it, please?
It's the mailman. It's a package for Julie Anderson.
You can just leave it at the door.
Can't do that. I'm supposed to COD. Like that. And besides, you and I have to have a little talk. About Kim.
It's gonna be one of those Saturdays. Hopefully, Jimmy Page doesn't mind me ripping off all the shit he ripped off. Should I ask Willie Dixon if it's okay? No, this wasn't a Willie Dixon song. It was another dude. Yeah, I need to practice some more. Plus, my sound's terrible today for some reason. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it don't sound good. Just shut up, Rich. Or Chris, I mean. He'll die in day. Yeah, he pissed off like a lot of people recently. They said he pulled a Dixie chick, so I'm guessing his he can't help himself hippie, bullshit, like. And it's weird because he's like really aggressive in some ways, but yet really hippie. I don't know. It's like, you gotta understand, they come from upper middle class, Cobb County, suburb, family. I mean, like he tries to, he really does try to do the, I'm like totally a hippie. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure your parents are pretty well off considering that, you and your brother went to Brennan Hall School, which at the time was the most expensive fucking private school in America. over in is over in Dunwoody. But I think Rich actually. Did Rich graduate? I don't know. He's a couple years older than Rich, but from what I understand, Rich and Chris both went to the school that I went to, which was called Bryan Hall School in Dunwoody. Well, it was Atlanta back then. Dunwoody was its own place back in those days. It was just Atlanta. And then they incorporated Dunwoody into its own, separate, address. It was just kind of more of a colloquial name for the area and that everyone used. Like, if you said Dunwoody, people know what you're talking about, but it was really just part of North Fulton County. And today we're going to talk about Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Have y'all seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Now, if you haven't, hit pause, go watch it, and come back. Cool shit, wasn't it? Yeah, I know. It's a cool old movie. And on these modern TVs, God almighty, yeah, that's some great fucking, cinematography, back in those days. Even though that it was all on film, like actual film. It's like there were kids. There was a time when movies were made and put onto these like semi-translucent strips of like plastic-like material, and it would shine a light through the back of it. It would, show it up. That's probably too much for you to handle at one time. I came across this thing the other day where they were talking about. That's the thing I always think of the Close Encounter of whenever I see one of those. So I got to incorporate that into it because I'm a fucking nut job with autism, and that's just kind of how it has to happen. And the thing is, they're talking about how, Devil's Tower, which is that place that, where the aliens are. That place is a really fascinating rock formation. But I keep running across these things from time to time where people think it's a tree trunk. Like it's a petrified tree trunk. Like, you know, there's a petrified forest, you know, in like northern Arizona. They think it's like that. I mean, bless their hearts. It's really creative. You know, and I try my best not to pick on religious people just for being religious, because there are a lot of really good and decent people who are religious, and I can't treat them all as, you know, something bad just because I had a lot of bad experiences with religious people. I've had some good experiences too, but it's easier to remember the bad than it is to remember the good. And I was kind of amazed that, well, you know what? Let's watch that. Yeah, you see? The thing is I check, you know, the comments, and it's like, y'all need your fucking mind. Like, I was the only fucking person that was willing to consider that this was incorrect. Because I'm assuming most people probably wouldn't click on it, or most people would just be like, ignore it. It's kind of like, but I'm the person that has to throw a monkey wrench into it, you know, and then I have to give them an actual scientific explanation for it. It's like, look, and here's the thing, I actually got part of it wrong, because I assumed it was basalt, because usually when you see those hexagonal, you know, columnar, column-like, you know, structures where they're kind of all fused together, but, you know, they kind of come out in these hexagonal shapes, you know.
Original rock that once encased the tower has been removed. Resolving this requires analyzing the remaining microscopic and structural details to reconstruct a vanished landscape. Petrographic analysis identifies the tower's rock specifically as phonolite porphyry. This composition, rich in soda feldspar and agurite, serves as a primary diagnostic marker for the formation's origin. This chemical makeup indicates that the magma was forced through sedimentary strata under high pressure, remaining thick and plastic rather than becoming a fluid surface flow. The rock's internal chemistry confirms it was a deep-seated, slow-moving intrusion, which contradicts the characteristics of a violent surface eruption. Beyond the chemistry, the tower's macrostructure, the massive hexagonal columns, provides essential data on the shape of the original magma chamber. While their geometry is precise, these columns are not large crystals. Instead, they result from thermal contraction. As magma cools, it contracts, fracturing the surface at 120-degree angles to create an interlocking hexagonal network. These cracks propagate inward along the cooling front. They drive strictly downward, perpendicular to the magma body's surface, leaving long vertical columns behind. This establishes a rule of columnar jointing. Columns always form perpendicular to the primary cooling surface. Because the columns at Devil's Tower stand vertically, the original cooling surface directly above them must have been flat and horizontal. The orientation of these columns confirms that the original magma chamber possessed a massive, flat, horizontal roof that has since eroded away. Further evidence is found at the tower's base, in the Devil's Tower agglomerate, a chaotic hill of mixed...
And I thought it was basalt, but it's a different type. But they say that's you know, one of the reasons why they kind of know what happened was that where that place is now was at one time submerged underground. Like there was ground up to at least the top of it, you know, and a lot of the rock around it is the original outside, you know, layers of it. And so it's just down to that now. And what happens is it cools very quickly. So, and it cools perpendicular to the whatever's the cool surface. So that's the reason why if it's going up and down, and that means that was originally at the top of, you know, it was like, you know, at the spout, you know, of a ancient, you know, probably low, like some volcanoes aren't like mountains. Some volcanoes are like a hole in the fucking ground, kind of like Yellowstone. And the thing is, you know, I sit there and I watch it and I go, Yeah, that's the thing I try to explain to them. You know, that's a natural formation. I could see where y'all say it looks like a giant tree trunk. Yeah, it looks like a bear tried to climb it. And as he was trying to climb it, I mean, it would be a giant bear, like a really, really giant bear, back when everybody was giants, you know. And it was a giant bear, and he was climbing up it because we used to have giant people for a while, but we have giant bears too. And then we have giant trees. And this is like, you know, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, the Jack and the Beanstalk kind of, you know, concept. But you know what I mean. And the bear, you know, his claws marked it all up. He couldn't get no grip. And just marked it all up. That's why it looks like that. And it's like, no. And I think it's sad that they will use use religion as a reason to ignore intelligent thought. I don't think Jesus would approve of you agreeing with that. And the thing is they're like, don't trust the government. Don't trust people try to tell you, try to make you not see what's obvious. Because once you, and that's what's kind of funny is it's like, that's obviously a con man's post. Or somebody believed some other, I mean, whoever originated this whole thing was a con man. Because this kind of thing, it's like it tries to tell you don't trust the government, but you know there are a lot of better reasons to not trust the government than that. Seriously, lots. Like, you know, we keep seeing all these aliens. Yeah, okay. Those are admin IT nerds down here doing, you know, maintenance on the grid, you know, on their whatever. Actually, you know something? There's an episode of Rick and Morty that explains this perfectly. So check it out.
What's wrong, Rick? Is it the quantum carburetor or something? Quantum carburetor? Jesus, Morty, you can't just add a sci-fi word to a car word and hope it means something. Huh, looks like something's wrong with the microverse battery. We're gonna have to go inside. This isn't right. This pipe's supposed to be sending 20 terawatts of juice up to the engine, Morty. Instead, we've got 0? Now what are these people doing? Whoa, people? I thought we were inside your car battery, Rick. This is like a whole planet or something. Thanks, Morty. I'm pretty proud of this bad boy. You have a whole planet sitting around making your power for you? That's slavery. It's society. They work for each other, Morty. They pay each other. They buy houses. They get married and make children that replace them when they get too old to make power. That just sounds like slavery with extra steps.
It's hard for people to grasp, but inside that container is an infinite universe with a planet capable of generating massive amounts of power. I call it a miniverse. All right, let's go. Hold on to something. I put an unbounded vacuum inside a temporal field until a world developed. I then introduced the people of this world to the wonders of electricity in the form of a device I call a flubel crank.
You got the people on this world slaving away making your power? I mean, that's what I call slavery.
No. They work for each other in exchange for money. And if you continue to turn your flubel cranks, I will bring you other great alien advancements.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Yes?
Any of your scientists working on anything new?
All of them. That's their job.
Yeah, but I mean like energy-wise? Anyone working on, say, a little universe in a box?
How do you know about that? It's top secret.
It's not much now, but once I learn to accelerate the temporal field, I'll be able to interact with any sentient life that evolves and introduce them to the wonders of electricity via a pulley-based device I call a blooble-yank. But what they won't know is...
You'll be taking most of their energy. Yeah, I get it. You're talking about creating a planet of slaves.
Told you, Zeep.
Oh, they won't be slaves. They'll work for each other and pay each other money.
That just sounds like slavery with extra steps.
What?
Wait a minute. Did you create my universe? Is my universe a miniverse?
Microverse!
Teenyverse. Are they not really aliens?
No, they're just a couple of crazy, wacky scientists, you know?
So he made a universe, and that guy is from that universe, and that guy made a universe. And that's the universe where I was born? Where my father died. And where I couldn't make time for his funeral because I was working on my universe.
See what I mean? Do you see what I mean? That actually makes the most scientific sense, is what's funny. That makes, here's the thing, the whole simulation theory thing actually makes a lot more sense than, you know, our theory of the Big Bang, and we keep trying to fill in blanks. Now, for a long time, we made up stories that sounded really, you know, considering the info that we had, and considering what we could observe. You know, 1,000 years ago, if you look at that thing, or maybe even 2,000, if you look at that Devil's Tower and go, it's a giant petrified tree trunk, people will call you a genius, because in those days you would have been, just for being that creative. And then seeing the association of it, you know. But then as time goes on, we start to learn how, you know, our Earth works. You know, I mean, we get smart over time, you know. But the problem is that the only wealthy, advanced world power that video would not be, oh my God, would it be just absolutely ridiculed, even from religious people, going, this is an insult to people, you know, of faith. But all these people of faith, they're like, yeah, the government trying to cover up the obvious. It's kind of like, oh, trust me, sweetheart, if the government had something that could prove, you know, that they're, you know, trust me, they want to push the whole God thing because they want control of you people. They're jealous of Jesus because, you know, because if you're raised with that belief, it's easy to control you. So, but we are in our time of dying as a society. If at this day and age, there's still that many people that look at that and go, amen, brother or sister or whatever, you know, it's kind of like, I don't think this is wise. I'm betting at your pastor. If your pastor doesn't go, yeah, don't encourage these people. These people are just trying to fucking fool you. You know, if your pastor's like, they're damn right, then that pastor is a communist. I'll tell you. And all you're doing is you're killing religion overall too, because it's stuff like this is the reason why it winds up, you know, becoming less and less popular, and it just dies a slow death. You know, and then we all become a bunch of godless heathens, like you know, all those wealthy and happy Europeans. But you know, I mean, there are a lot of good and decent Christians. There are a lot of them that are stupid to the point of it being fucking dangerous, though. Here's the thing. All the shit that I know, I did not learn, you know, in college. This is like shit from high school. Seriously. Here's the thing. This is very common. It's a very common fucking thing in this world. For example, Giant's Causeway. Yeah, it was an inspiration, you know, for the cover art for Houses of the Holy. Yeah, great album. Really was. One of my favorites, you know. I love the whole... Seeing too much ocean. But yeah, that was kind of like, it's similar concept. The ones that, you know, I guess cooled when there was, you know, ocean, they were kind of more like, they're like, you know, they had the lines going the other way, but then there's a lot of them that are, you know, perpendicular instead of horizontal. Yeah, that's a really, I'd love to go see that. I wish I could see that myself, in person and all that. And then here's the thing: there's also this thing called Namadal. It's about 1,000 years old, a little less than 1,000 maybe, about 900 years old. And Southeast Asia, isn't it? Somewhere like, it's not. Is it Philippines? Or Indonesia, I don't know. It's one of them places, where you get cheap, products made. Check it out. See? It's pretty common. It really is. It's actually quite common. Just because we don't see it here that often. I mean, except for Devil's Tower. And we don't usually see it in that way. That's a really unique way of seeing it. Or seeing it, as it's represented. Here's the thing. There's even older shit than that. There's this Garung something, Padang or something. I don't know. Padang sounds like something naughty in Indian or something, but it's in Indonesia. This is like 2,000 years old, I think. Check it out.
The wind, their eyes fall. This is the wonder of devotion. I seek a torch we all must hold. This is a mystery of the culture.
Yeah. Cool, huh? Now, that was a volcano that they, basically stacked a bunch of basalt columns and made kind of like a pyramid on a volcano thing, and then they made other stuff on top of it. I don't know. It's obviously done by people, though. They weren't giants. They were just really fucking bored and motivated. They probably had a lot of cocaine or something around them days, or something similar to that. Because the one place I know they grow that's is in South America. Everybody has something else like that, something to get them going, Yeah, you probably need a lot of meth in a society. Fuck with shit like that. God, my shit's heavy as fuck. The basalt is very, very dense and extremely heavy, but it's also very tough. So I was like, how the fuck they cut that shit? That's why it's like you never see the ancient things where they use basalt columns where like the cuts are like super accurate. It's like all the stuff in like South America where they like formed the rocks together or whatever. So there's no telling how they did that shit. And that could have been IT people fucking with people in the future, going back there and they're like, let me show y'all a trick. And it's like, yeah, and they say y'all die in hell if you tell anyone how we did that. And so they just left it a mystery, and they were like, how the fuck they put all them rocks together like that? It looks like they melted them together. Who knows? But if we are, if what a lot of people's theories are, based around quantum, mechanics, quantum physics, whatever you want to call it, then that could make sense. All these things that we see, flying around our planet and shit that completely violate the laws of physics. Well, why can they do that? Probably because they have the admin code and they're allowed to. They're allowed to do cartoon shit because they have the source code that allows them to do it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing that people really in this day and age we have so much information and they just choose to be ignorant. They just choose to be complete fucking ignorant. It's kind of like, I'm sorry, but they're like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So actually you can't unsee it. Someone with a fucking common sense can unsee it. Jesus Christ. I just can't believe that people are smart enough to figure out how to trick people to be useful idiots to repost this shit because they think, whoa, man, I'm totally. And that's the thing. This is where it is like when black people talk about woke. That's what they mean. It's like when someone sees, that this was a tree to heaven. Which I don't know why they wouldn't put fucking stairs instead of a tree, but okay. Then we're supposed to climb the tree to heaven. People have a hard time climbing that thing. And people also have this thing like, why do y'all think heaven has a geographic location? Heaven is a concept that once you die, you go into a different reality. Or you leave this reality, you go into the afterlife reality, or you go into a different, universe, like a multiverse kind of thing, like there's a heaven multiverse, and if you're really good, you get to go there, but there's not like a there, like, remember the episode of South Park where they were going to build the ladder to heaven, to heaven, and they asked why? It's like, because our friend Kenny died and we need to go see him. And then they left out the part where it's like they wanted to get this thing so they could beat this video game. Not because they were like they missed their friend. It was because a motherfucker died with something we needed. We're going to get it from him. And yeah, that's the whole thing, the whole concept that, you think, oh, she's up there in the sky. And it's like, no, maybe that's what it kind of looks like when you do go there. I'm sure it's a whole different, if you climb up that thing, if you were to climb up something that went all the way to where we think heaven would be, you're going to fucking die from oxygen starvation, and from, I don't know, the fact that it gets freezing cold as you get closer and closer, to the atmosphere, the edge of our atmosphere. I mean, I don't know. It's just unbelievable. I'm going to pray for you fools. Say hi to your mom and them for me. Love y'all. Bye.
I just wanna tell you all, go fuck yourself. Oh, shit. Go fuck yourself.
I do not freebase cocaine.